What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Taxi Wildlife from Haba. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 5 to 99. It'll take about 10 minutes to play. 100-year-old great-grandma, stay the hell away from this game. But anywho, this is a children's game from the very, very popular children's company, Haba Games. They've made a lot of absolutely fantastic children's games with absolutely outstanding wooden components, and this one, spoiler, has very nice components. But does the gameplay hold up? I don't know. Let's open it up and check it out. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Taxi Wildlife from Haba. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule booklet. It is like 40 pages, double-sided, full color. But needless to say, you don't have to worry about it. It's actually just in 6 different languages. It's a pretty well done rule booklet. It'll have you up and running in no time at all. And it's a very simple game, so I can probably just teach you how to play right now. So we'll go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So first and foremost, you're going to be getting these 2 mesh bags. We'll get over the stars of the show real quick, which are going to be these nice little animals. You might recognize them. I think they're the same kind they use in Animal Upon Animal. And you're going to have a couple different kinds of animals. You'll have kangaroos and alligators and sheep. And they're wooden and they're nice. And they are really, really super nice. But that's a calling card of Haba. I mean, you just expect really nice components with Haba games if you've never seen any before. The mesh bags, also very nice. So you're going to get 2 of those mesh bags. You're going to get 2 of each kind of animal. And those 2 are going to go into each. Kind of like a Noah's Ark thing, even though that has nothing to do with the game. You're going to get 3 stacks of cards. It's labeled 1, 2, and 3. The numbers are really not impacting the game at all. They're just there to keep cards separated because you are going to have certain cards in certain piles. You're going to have rounds numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 because you're going to be playing 4 rounds in this game. And then each player is going to be getting a starting card, which will just have your different colored card on there, blue, red, yellow, or pink. So we'll just set the blue one out there. And then you're going to be getting what are called dual cards, which are going to have 2 cards going head-to-head, because on a given turn, only 2 cards are going to be playing against each other. So, for instance, if you only had a 3-player game and you were not using yellow, you would take out all the cards that had yellow with them, like so, and you would only have the red, the blue, and the pink ones, and then you would shuffle them up and get prepared to start the game. So we had done that, and then we'd shuffle these up and we'd place them face down. Now what's going to happen in this game is that you're going to draw a random dual card, like so, which would mean pink versus red would be facing each other. So blue is going to be completely non-existent in this bout. It's going to be pink versus red. Now, the challenger is going to pick which bag they would like to select. Now, when you first start the game, that's not going to make a difference at all. However, as you progress through the game, it will make a big difference, and you'll see why in a minute. So pink and red have both selectively selected their bags, and now what they're going to do is they're going to say 3, 2, 1, go, or do whatever, and then they're both going to reach into their bag at the same time and try and draw out a piece of one of these guys right here. So, for instance, this one, if you wanted to get this one, you would need to have a kangaroo. If you wanted to get this one, you would need to have a frog. And if you wanted to get this sheep, you would need to have a sheep. So you're going to be reaching into here to get one of these. But there's one more catch in that you have to make sure that it's going to connect either to the left or the right side of your thing. Now, thematically, this game is you driving around picking up animals because you're a taxi driver. It makes absolutely no sense at all. So I just wanted to mention that. Also, in order to win the game, you're going to be going through 4 rounds. You're going to be going through all these cards right here, and you're going to be seeing who gets the most of these, and also who gets the most animals. So how this works is, let's just say you reached in and you tried to grab the frog, and let's see if I can just get lucky and grab the frog. No, I'm going to cheat. As you can see, this game is pretty difficult, especially when you're going for stuff like the frog and the sheep. They're a little bit hard to find. Yeah, we're just going to dump this out so I can show you. So let's say, hey, I drew out the frog. That's great, and I was the first person to do that, which would mean that I would get to take this piece, and I could not put it over this side because it does not match up. I would have to put it over here. Now, I do not get to keep this frog. This frog goes back into the bag. Now, let's say we move on. We would draw a new card. That duel would be over. Then we'd go on to a new duel, which would be blue versus red. So blue versus red would go, Once again, blue would get to pick their bag first, which at this point it would not matter at all because nothing has been removed from the bag and not put back in. However, let's just say this time that blue's going and they say, oh yeah, I drew my sheep out. So they would get the sheep card and they would obviously, you can't put it over here, they would have to put it right here. Now, this is a special card because it has not only the animal symbol on there, but it also has the sheep itself. And when that happens, you get to keep that sheep on your board. And that's going to count as an extra victory point at the end of the game. So this person would not just have 2 points, they would actually have 1, 2, 3 points because they would have the sheep. You would replace this card. You would draw another dual card. It would be blue versus red. And now, this bag right here becomes a little bit less or more appealing depending on what you want to do. So for instance, if you wanted to go for a sheep, this is not the bag you would want to go for. However, since there's no sheep on the board, the challenger would be in their best advantage to then take this bag because there's one less tile to sort through with their hands. Now when you're sorting through with your hands, obviously you can't look at the bag, you can't use 2 hands, there's certain rules like that. And if you get it wrong, your opponent has pretty much as much time as they want to try and correctly get one out. So there's like a racing element there where you're trying to be fast, but you're also trying to be you're trying to be precise because you don't want to give your opponent the card and potentially even a better card if they then decide to really try and find one with a symbol on it. But anywho, you would go through all of these cards, adding on, making sure it fits, and then continuing to draw. Once you've gone through all the dual cards, you will go to round number 2, where you will shuffle back up, redo it again, do it once again, do it once again. Do that over 4 rounds, and at the end of 4 rounds, whoever has the most points by tallying up, once again, all their cards down here and their animals, is going to be the winner of Taxi Wildlife, and that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Taxi Wildlife from Hobble. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. We're going to start on the pro side. So on the pro side, components, very, very nice. The wooden pieces are great. Bags, great. Rule booklet, well done. Perfectly serviceable. Cards, perfectly serviceable card. Artwork is nice. Also, another thing on the pro side is that this game has a lot of cool features in it. There's a lot of things that kind of raise it up to be more challenging than other children's games because you have that tactile thing where you're trying to reach into the bag and grab certain things. But you also, at the same time, have to pay attention to what's in the middle because you can't use all the cards if they won't fit on your little your map that you're making down there. But at the same time, you also have to think about what's been taken on the bag. I really like the aspect that once people take something out of a bag and that it has the animal on the card, and that is now removed completely from that bag because you will get in a situation where you'll be like, okay, I have to challenge him, and this one won't fit, so I need this or that. But I remember that he has a sheep out here, and I think he took that sheep from that bag. Wait, which bag was it? So there's like that little bit of memory aspect there where you're trying to remember what exactly is in each of the bags. Another thing that I liked about this game was it actually went over really well with adults. It was fun. Now, it's not a game that I'm going to be busting out on a regular basis, but I was like, hey guys, I want to try this. I want to get the adult perspective on this game, bust it out on game night, and it was fun. We enjoyed it. It was a nice, light filler game. I can see this being pretty fun also as a drinking game, coincidentally enough. We actually had somebody whose entire strategy was just to reach in the bag as fast as you can and pull something out, and then just hope that it was something that they needed, and that was quite a bit of fun. Moving on to the cons, though, this game fell flat in my classroom, completely flat. As many of you know, I'm a preschool teacher. I work with children aged 3 to 5, and we play games all of the time. Spot It, Click Clack Lumberjack, Don't Break the Ice, Cranium, Sorry Sliders, Don't Wake Daddy. Tons and tons and tons of games. They play a plethora of games. And normally what I do is I'll have about 2 or 3 games up on a shelf that they can't reach but they can see. And then we'll try out whatever new game I bring it in. I'll make sure all the kids get to try it. And then I'll leave it up there for a week or 2 and they'll request it. And I'll cycle it through it. And it's a lot of fun. Taxi Wildlife went over miserably. The kids did not like this game, and they did not request this game, which is crazy, because every game I bring in gets requested. This game did not, and it really kind of caught me off guard, because I like a lot of things in this game. Now, why didn't they like it? I asked some of the kids why they didn't like it. There were a couple main reasons. The first one is the dueling system. there's a bit of a problem with the dueling system because only 2 people are going to be going at a time, and children like to always be involved. And especially if you're playing 4 players, you can get in the scenario where you might have 3, 4 duels in a row where someone does not get to play. It might be like blue versus red, red versus yellow, pink versus blue, pink versus yellow, something like that, to the scenario where someone is not going to get to play for 4 turns and they're going to start getting bored. Also, they got very frustrated with the way the game worked when they had to match things up. Like, they'd draw out the right one, but then it wouldn't match up, and they'd get super frustrated. Little things like that. Now, for me personally, looking at it as an adult gamer who plays a lot of games, there is one big issue I had with this game, and that is that you should never, ever play this game 4 players, 4 rounds. 4 rounds is absolutely preposterous. I don't understand how they possibly play tested this and thought 4 rounds was the sweet spot. No. Dear God, no. And there's one big reason why, and that is because those animal cards will come up, and it will say, you get if you get that animal card that also has the picture of the little animal on it, you get to keep the animal that you draw from the bag, and that goes onto your board and does not get back into the bag. And you will run into the scenario. We had it happen in the 4th round of a game. I think we might have actually even had it in the 3rd round of the game at one point, where a kid had a bag and there were 2 snakes on the board. I think it was 2 snakes on the board, and then one other thing that he could not, because you have to be able to match it correctly to your spot. So he could not match the middle card onto his track down here, his map, and there were no snakes in the bag he had. So he literally could not win that round. That's broken. I mean, and this is a kid's game. And I feel like I should give it a pass because it's a kid's game. But the bottom line is, if a mechanism in your game is broken, it doesn't matter if it's for children or for adults. Broken is broken. If this sort of thing was in Dominion or Ticket to Ride or something like that, people would be flipping tables and angry. And that's just, I don't understand how it snuck by them. So, overall, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I've gone over my main concerns with this game. This is a definite try it before you buy it game. My kids personally hated it. Surprisingly, I've not played it with my son yet. I actually think I'm going to try it with him later this week. He might love the game for all I know. But this is definitely a try it before you buy it game, which is normally not something I'd say about Haba games. It's like the 4th or 5th one I've played, and they've all been absolutely spectacular, great for various different reasons. This one, on the other hand, not so much. So Taxi Wildlife, definitely try this game before you buy it. Don't insta-buy it just because of the Haba name. Component-wise are nice. It's fun with adults, surprisingly, but with the kids that I played it with, it fell flat. Your kids may love it, though, so who knows. So that is Haba's Taxi Wildlife. It looks like it might be for you. Be sure to check it out. Also, if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. And in the comments below, let me know, what is your least favorite children's game that you have ever played? For me personally, oh man, I really should think about these before I ask them. For me personally, it might be bed bugs. I was just so bad at bed bugs. I was freaking terrible. Even though, you know what? I was bad at a lot of games when I was a kid. I don't know. Let me post in the comments below. Maybe I'll answer down in the comments below. For me, I'm just going to say bed bugs, that old game where you had to take the little thing and tweeze out the bed bugs, which is, by the way, is an absolute bizarre theme. But let me know in the comments below, what is your least favorite children's game, either now or from your child, or one that you play with your child that absolutely just bores you to death. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for Taxi Wildlife. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.